Hello everyone, welcome to LUKMAAN IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 13th December 2020. So let us see which are the important articles. Largely all the articles on the Sunday's newspaper relates to prelims examination. तो prelims के लिए हम input लेंगे इसमें. So first article, mothers in Madhya Pradesh to help check malnutrition. Very good initiative by MP government. So it has issued an order for appointment of committees led by mothers to ensure better monitoring for services delivered at Anganwadi or daycare centers in the state. These will be called as Matru Sahayogini Samiti, mothers cooperation committees. ठीक है. These will comprise 10 mothers each at Anganwadi, representing the concerns of different sets of beneficiaries under Integrated Child Development Service ICDS or National Nutrition Mission. Okay, so these 10 mothers, like they will include the mothers of beneficiary children as well as represented by pregnant women and lactating mothers. We know that Anganwadi scheme includes package of 6 services like, for example, supplementary nutrition, health services, early education, like these services. Okay, so committees will also include women punch of the village, women active in the community, eager to volunteer, at the same time teachers from the local school, women heads of self-help groups. ठीक है, तो वो भी रहेंगे 10 में से बाकी members. Mothers will monitor the weekly distribution of take-home ration as well as coordinate with self-help groups engaged in preparing hot cooked meals for daily distribution of beneficiaries at Anganwadis. Okay, so they will also focus on, let's say, ensure that the food is tasteful and nutritious. Okay, so this move is being taken as per the mandate of National Food Security Act NFSA. इसके अंडर ये नया लाया है. So basically you should use this example in essay or GS2 paper, social justice या governance जो aspect होता है. For implementation of government schemes effectively, there is need of people participation. And people should monitor the implementation of scheme. This will ensure the accountability of the government administration. तो ये effective implementation होगा, monitoring होगा, vigilance होगा by the people themselves, the beneficiaries themselves. ठीक है, तो ये एक अच्छा example है. मातृ सहयोगिनी समिति. Use this. Even public administration student take this as case study. Western Sahara on edge after Israel Morocco deal. Now this is very unique, let's say, incident, or we can say that the article is discussing a very important world history part development. So let us try to understand what is the history of this region. Okay, so Morocco or Western Sahara region. First of all, look at the map here. Okay, so this is the Western Sahara region. And in this Western Sahara region, half of the part from the northern side, it is occupied by Morocco, and the southern part, this part is controlled by Polisario. The Polisario is one of the militant group in that region who, let's say, revolted against the Spanish, let's say, colonialist in that region earlier. And look at the bordering countries. North side से Morocco है, then there is Algeria, and then there is southern side से Mauritania. तो अभी ये 3 countries में कैसे ये conflict होता है ये पूरे article में discuss किया गया है. And this burn means there is one large or let's say long sand, what you can say, the word specifically used here in this article, let me tell you. जो एक सैंड का जो जैसे हम बोलते हैं यहाँ पे दिख रहा है आपको, ठीक है, तो ये सैंड का उन्होंने एक क्या बोलते हैं डिवाइडर या बाउंड्री अंदर तैयार की है, पूरी जो मोरक्को ने तैयार किया हुआ है. और वो एक टैक्टिकल हम बोल सकते हैं कि वहाँ पे यूज किया जाता है उसको फॉर ensuring the territorial integrity of their own, we can say, region. So let us understand what happened in that region in the past and the impact of present developments. Okay, so what happened at present? Morocco has become the 4th Arab country to normalize ties with Israel in 5 months. Other three are UAE, Bahrain and Sudan. In return to Morocco's decision to establish formal ties with Israel, the US has recognized Rabat's sovereignty, yani ki Morocco's sovereignty over Western Sahara, a disputed territory in northwestern Africa which has been under Moroccan control for decades. Okay, so let us try to understand what is the background here. This large, arid and sparsely populated region that shares border with Morocco, Algeria and Mauritania and has long Atlantic coast with a Spanish colony. The region is home to Sahrawi tribe. ये prelims के लिए important है सारा. The Popular Front for the Liberation of Sagua El Hamra or Rio de Ora, also known as Polisario Front, started guerrilla warfare against the Spanish colonists. In 1975, as part of Madrid Accords with the Morocco and Mauritania, Spain decided to leave the territory, which was then called Spanish Sahara. The Polisario Front and Algeria opposed this agreement. ठीक है, तो Polisario is supported by Algeria here. Both Morocco and Mauritania moved troops to the Western Sahara to assert their claims. Polisario, backed by Algeria, continued guerrilla resistance, demanding their withdrawal. Okay. On February 27, 1976, a day before Spain ended its presence, the Polisario Front declared the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic (SADR) in Western. ठीक है, तो ये जो है रीजन वो SADR controlled है now. SADR has been recognized by several African countries also and is a member of African Union also. Morocco and Mauritania had claims to Western Sahara even when it was Spanish colony. So what is the current status? How it has led to the present status? The three-way conflict lasted for almost 4 years, and in August 1979 the Mauritania signed the peace treaty with Polisario. ठीक है, तो मॉरिटानिया देख रहे हो आप साउदर्न साइड से है, तो उन्होंने पॉलिसारियो के साथ में एक पीस ट्रीटी कर दी है, ब्रिंगिंग कंट्रीज मिलिट्री इन्वॉल्वमेंट इन वेस्टर्न सहारा टू एंड. यानी कि मॉरिटानिया ने अपना जो है मिलिट्री वापस ले लिया वहां से. तो अभी कंफ्लिक्ट जो बचता है वो सिर्फ वॉर कंटिन्यूड बिटवीन मोरक्कन ट्रूप्स एंड पॉलिसारियो. तो मोरक्कन ट्रूप्स फ्रॉम नॉर्दर्न साइड एंड पॉलिसारियो फ्रॉम साउदर्न साइड. In 1991, when the ceasefire was finally achieved, upon the promise of holding an independent referendum in Western Sahara, Morocco had taken control of about 80% of the territory. The war had forced almost 2 lakh Sahrawis to flee the territory to the neighboring Algeria. The SADR is operating largely from the eastern flank of the Western Sahara. ये जो eastern flank है सारा, ठीक है, और मोरक्को जो है वो ये वेस्टर्न फ्लैंक से सारा उनका है. ठीक है, मोरक्कन ट्रूप्स हैव बिल्ट ह्यूज सैंड वॉल कॉल्ड BERM फ्रॉम द अटलांटिक कोस्ट टू द माउंटेन्स ऑफ मोरक्को, डिवाइडिंग द टेरिटरीज दे कंट्रोल फ्रॉम दैट ऑफ पॉलिसारियो. व्हाट विल बी दिस इम्पैक्ट ऑफ दिस न्यू डील हियर? द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ न्यू डील इज दैट there are chances that this could flare up the conflict in the region. Okay, so because the independence referendum promised in 1991 ceasefire is yet to take place, along with that what we can expect here is that the involvement of other countries like the US move could upset the Algeria, the biggest backer of Polisario. Along with that, the other nations who condemned the US decision is Russia, which said that it is the violation of international law. ठीक है, तो basically US is backing what you can say Morocco here, because Morocco has good relations with Israel. Israel is a very good partner of USA. तो एक तरीके से वो उनका भी एक ट्रायंगल बन गया है एंड यूएस रिकॉग्नाइज दैट दिस इज मोरक्को टेरिटरी. ठीक है, तो ये एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट क्रिएट हो सकता है इस रीजन में फिर से. ठीक है, तो ये आपको बैकग्राउंड आपको समझ में आया होगा. वेस्टर्न सहारा जो रीजन है आपको यहाँ पे दिख रहा है. ठीक है, और दिस इज डिस्प्यूटेड टेरिटरी, वी कैन से दैट दिस इज मोरक्को. ठीक है, और ये अल्जेरिया है और ये मॉरिटानिया है. ठीक है, तो ऐसे उनकी बाउंड्रीज है. सो फ्रॉम मैपिंग पर्सपेक्टिव ऑल्सो दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. Fine. Okay. Bringing life back to the Western Ghats grasslands. So this is important because Shola forest, you can be asked in the examination. ठीक है, so which are tropical mountain grasslands, Shola forest of the Western Ghats have suffered big reductions due to invasion by exotic tree species. So that's why the researchers here are of the view that they should be restored. ठीक है, TMGs are high elevation grasslands forming only 2% of all grasslands in the world. At the same time, they are very important in terms of their function in regulating the global carbon cycle and serving as a source of water to the downstream communities. ठीक है, तो especially in Western Ghats, these sholas are responsible for hydrological recharge. Okay, so generally the policy makers, planners ignore these grasslands. They are considered as wetlands by the planners and forest as a resource. However, these grasslands are very important. They are talking about from the biodiversity perspective, and these invasive tree species are like acacias, pines and eucalyptus. They are invading the grassland region and reducing the biodiversity of region. Okay, so Shola forest, whenever we talk about, they are tropical mountain grasslands in Western Ghats. ठीक है, तो Shola forest जिसको बोला जाता है. So this is important. Then Kerala is set to augment wildlife rehabilitation. So yes, the article is talking about establishment of wildlife rehabilitation center, dedicated facility to treat and nurture injured and orphaned big cats and other carnivores that are rescued from the wild. So this will be, let's say, in line with the existing such facility in Sri Chamarajendra Zoological Garden in Mysuru that treats tigers, leopards. ठीक है, तो अभी ये केरला में वो एस्टेब्लिश करना चाहते हैं. द स्टेट हैज करंटली रेस्क्यू एंड रिहेबिलिटेशन सेंटर फॉर कैप्टिव एंड वाइल्ड एलिफेंट्स एट कोट्टूर, तिरुवनंतपुरम. Okay, now this article has some important, let's say, protected areas, names of protected areas. For example, Neyyar Lion Safari Park or Madhumalai Tiger Reserve in Nilgiris. So what is important for us is we need to identify them and look into the, let's say, Google them for more information, their location, look at the map and location, nearby surrounding protected areas, in which state they are located, in which biosphere they are part of which biosphere. ये सारी चीजें आपको पता होनी चाहिए. For example, in 2019 prelims question, which of the following are in Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve? अब स्टूडेंट्स ने जनरली ये न्यूज में रहता है द हिंदू में, ठीक है, जो साउदर्न इंडिया के प्रोटेक्टेड एरियाज होते हैं दे आर ऑलवेज इन न्यूज. सो इफ यू follow up on that news, look into all these tiger reserves, wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere reserve of southern India. You can let's say have 2-3 page notes of this and the location also. For example, you can see here Mudumalai. So Mudumalai wildlife sanctuary is also there, and at the same time it is tiger reserve also. And earlier also we talked about Silent Valley National Park. So basically these are the part of Nilgiri biosphere. So the student, if he is knowing about Silent Valley Park or Mudumalai, let's say Tiger Reserve or Wildlife Sanctuary, he may eliminate this option. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपको एक चीज आपको समझ गई है, ये ऑप्शन तो ऑलरेडी एलिमिनेट होता है. नागार्जुन श्रीशैलम ये आंध्र प्रदेश में आता है, तो ये ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट होता है. देन द पापीकोंडा जो हिल्स है, ठीक है, तो वो जनरली हम देखते हैं कि आंध्र प्रदेश में आता है. ठीक है, तो वो अगर आपको पता होगा तो ये भी ऑप्शन कैंसिल होता है और बचता है सिर्फ ये ऑप्शन जिसमें ज्यादातर हमें पता नहीं होगा कि ये पेपरा, शेषंद्री या ये कौन से है. तो एलिमिनेशन के थ्रू आप ये आंसर मार्क कर सकते हो ऐसे टाइम पे. ठीक है, सो नेयर हियर, इफ देयर इज नेयर लायन पार्क सफारी, then Google it and you may find that Neyyar Wildlife Sanctuary is also located in that region. Where is that region? Southern part of Kerala. Which are the hills? Agastyamalai hills are there, or Biosphere Reserve is located there. Northern side of Kerala or the tri-junction of these three states, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, वहाँ पे नीलगिरी बायोस्फीयर है. मुदुमलाई इज पार्ट ऑफ तमिलनाडु, या फिर साइलेंट वैली नेशनल पार्क केरला का है। ये सारी चीजें आपको मतलब वहां पे दिखेगी जब आप उसका मैप देखोगे, ठीक है। सो अप्रोच आपको पढ़ाई का ऐसे होना चाहिए प्रीलिम्स का। प्रैक्टिस के लिए जैसे मुदुमलाई टाइगर रिजर्व इज अ पार्ट ऑफ विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व, सो यस दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ नीलगिरी बायोस्फीयर, आंसर इज ए। India set to exceed climate targets. Prime Minister Modi, he was talking about the climate action at the climate action summit. Now this climate action summit started since 2019, okay, to galvanize the efforts of all countries to reach the Paris agreement, okay. So यहाँ पे हमने पहले भी ये टारगेट्स हमारे जो एनवायरमेंट मिनिस्टर ने बात की थी तो उनके ही सेम है, बट सम इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्ट्स अगेन। India has reduced emission intensity by 21% since 2005 and this target is 33 to 35% है, जो by 2030 तो हम जरूर वो अचीव कर लेंगे। Install capacity had grown, ठीक है, सोलर इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी 36 गीगावाट इन 2020। Country's renewable energy capacity was 4th largest in the world now and would reach 175 gigawatt before 2022. At the same time, we have pioneered international let's say alliances like International Solar Alliance and Coalition for Disaster Relief, ठीक है। तो ऐसे हमने जो है रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी में काफ़ी इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हुए हैं। So, use this as data or facts. Hunger continued even after lockdown. Again, important from data perspective. Hunger Watch report has been released by Right to Food campaign, one of the let's say survey by this organization, and it is saying that nearly let's say over half of the people surveyed said their consumption of rice and wheat decreased after COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. 25 said that they had decreased a lot. Nearly 66% people said that they were having less than the quantity they used to eat before COVID-19. There was also discrimination on the lines of caste and religion while accessing food during the lockdown. At the same time, sex workers, domestic workers as well as single women faced additional difficulties. As many as 56% without any income in the beginning of the lockdown still had no income. Okay, so use these facts, data when we have essay related to COVID-19. Fine, and its impact on Indian society. So yes, these were important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes, wherein in-depth analysis of all mains related issues is done by Ansari Sir and team, you can contact LUKMAAN IAS. Thank you.